Shonen Jump mangaka have perfected the art of long-running battle shonen. While many of the ideas, settings, and characters vary over the long-running battle shonen landscape, you can't deny that many series follow the same basic structure. One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach took the format originated by series like Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Fist of the North Star, and made it their own just like any genre of any other art form does. This structure has likely played a key part in Shonen Jump's success over the years, but sometimes a total genre bender comes along, and currently, Chainsaw Man fills that role. In this video, I want to discuss the aspects that set Chainsaw Man apart from almost every other shonen series. First, let's talk about Chainsaw Man's use of female characters. Chainsaw Man's cast of female characters stands amongst the greatest in all of shonen anime. Surprisingly, almost all of the antagonists in the series are women. Makima and Santa Claus leave the biggest impact on the series. Female antagonists are not common in the world of battle shonen. Even though there are plenty of series that have some villainous women, few go as far as Chainsaw Man does. When you take into consideration all of the arcs in shonen anime, it is baffling how few female antagonists exist in a world of thousands of different characters. Through the change in perspective, the villains of Chainsaw Man feel fresh in a landscape of twirly evil men that either imbue angst or radiate coldness. But even going beyond that, these villains have as much nuance as any other villain I can think of in a long-running shonen battle series. And one of the reasons this connects is because of the art style Fujimoto brings. I have talked at length in other videos about the horror elements in the series, but here I want to talk about Fujimoto's character designs and how they highlight the differences in the story. Looking at the great villains, Mikima's design actually understates her sexuality in comparison to how most authors would approach her in Shonen Jump. Instead of just highlighting Mikima's body like so many other authors might do, he is able to imply the sexuality of Mikima so much more subtly than other authors, which only grows her appeal. Fujimoto focuses on the story with his artwork and designs rather than trying to fit into mainstream trends. In addition to this, Denji's design makes him the perfect everyman. He doesn't have a badass outfit that you can spot from 3 million miles away and say this person is the lead in the story. He just looks like a regular dude, and this contrast works so well when he commits devastating acts of violence as the fully formed badass Chainsaw Man. Denji is also separated through his character writing, which is highlighted through his smaller goals in life. Denji literally wants to live at the bare minimum of life. No grand dream, just having shelter, eating some food, and sharing intimacies with a person he likes. Denji wants to have the life that many of Chainsaw Man's readers already have, or at least will one day get the chance to. He isn't really that involved with the world being presented, even though he becomes the central devil that everyone cares about. Denji's character explores how easy manipulation of the lower class can occur. At the start of the story, Denji doesn't view Mikima with any disdain, even though she tells him from chapter 1 that he will be her pet. She treats him terribly right away, but for Denji it doesn't matter because of how much better his life has become. In the end, when Mikima laughs and reveals that she has planned all of the bad things that have happened to Denji, we can then see how easily manipulation can happen to those who have no resources. This takes us to the unique plotting and structure of the series, where things happen at random all the time, and when we go back and think about it, we see the methodical build-up to each climax. The structure feels a lot more loose than something like One Piece, for example. In One Piece, the vast majority of the arcs all start when the crew reaches a new island, and from there they find out who the villain is, and then engage in a series of escalating battles till Luffy faces off against the big bad. That structure works perfectly for One Piece and many other battle shonen. For Chainsaw Man, however, the stakes feel like they are always dialed up to 11, and that's one of the reasons the story feels so fresh. Chainsaw Man achieves this feeling by limiting the main perspective of the story. The perspective of the story doesn't focus on many characters that Denji doesn't know or isn't about to know. Because of this, events will happen out of nowhere and Denji's circumstances will be changed entirely from some organization that exists in the background of the story. This makes the world feel alive and unpredictable and makes it rewarding to continue through the series and learn about all the different factions that exist outside of Denji's reach. And these events often lead to shocking deaths of characters, which in the end makes for the last big difference from Shonen Battle series. Notoriously long-running Shonen doesn't kill characters often. Characters either don't ever die or do so and come back to life 10 chapters later. Plot armor saving characters from the consequences of their actions. Plot armor doesn't really exist in Chainsaw Man. Pretty much every character we love ends up dying at some point in the series, and it works for the horrifying, frantic tone. The backdrop of Chainsaw Man is brutality, and that brutality results in many character deaths. If you don't prepare for a fight with a devil, then you will not live to tell the tale. The brutality of the world and willingness to kill characters creates a spiraling tension that only moves faster as the series moves forward. When you put all of this together, you get a series that feels completely different than anything else in the genre, and it is able to accomplish that by having a slightly different perspective on many different pieces of the shonen battle archetype. Fujimoto doesn't reinvent the long-running shonen formula, but changes it just enough to make it seem like he does. All of this accumulates in a story that breaks down norms while putting the reader through a ringer of emotions. Through all of this, Chainsaw Man sets itself apart from the rest of the series in the shonen battle genre. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Love talking about Chainsaw Man, and I will continue to do so as it leads up and through the anime adaptation. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.